The Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne Remaster comes out in the West in a month's time, and I'm actually pretty excited for its release. I personally have never actually gotten the chance to finish Nocturne between a crash I had on the digital downloaded version on the PS3, which caused my save file to become corrupt, and a bug which just prevented me from finishing the game. If you're wondering about the bug, it only exists in the PAL version of the game, and unfortunately that's the region I'm in. Regardless of this, hey guys, my name is Resin Unleashed. Here at 5:30 in the morning, and because I'm excited, I want to talk about the 5 best and worst things about the Nocturne HD Remaster, starting with the negative and ending with the positive. Keep in mind guys, this is not objective because it's only my opinion. So if you have one that differs to mine, or if I've left something out that you think should have been here, let me know in the comments section down below. The least worrying thing, but is still a tiny bit of an issue to me personally, is the price of the game. While they do say HD Remaster, there are some differences, and this game is mostly just a modern port of Nocturne. The prices I talk about will be in Australian dollars, so keep that in mind if anything seems a little bit off. The PlayStation Store is charging $99.95 for it, which is absolutely absurd. At retail stores, you're looking to pay between $80 and $65, to which $65 is okay, but $80 for what is essentially a port might be asking a little bit too much. To give all of you non-Australians a comparison, a new AAA title here on the PS4 goes around $100 on launch. Similar games can go for $80, but usually these ports and HD remasters go for around $50 to $60. I don't know whether or not Atlas is determining the game's value or whether it's the companies that are distributing it. All I know is that it's a little bit too expensive for my liking at launch, but I'll still buy it regardless, so that's why this ultimately sits at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is that the iconic inclusion of Dante from the Devil May Cry series has been made DLC. I feel like we shouldn't have to pay even more for Dante on top of the high price for the title. When I bought the PS2 version, Dante was on the disc, and it didn't cost me anything extra. Now, if Dante is DLC because they had to pay rights to Capcom to use him again, that's totally acceptable, but if it's not, then I really dislike this move from Atlas to take out something that was originally just in the game and create a paywall to have it. Next we have number 3, which is just a real personal gripe I have, and it's the game's name. This game is just a glorified HD port with a few extra features, so I really don't like how Atlas are calling the game a remaster. I am aware that there are a few features that differ from the original, but honestly, when I think of remaster, I think of things such as Crash and Sane Trilogy, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil 2 2020, and the new Nier Replicant. Not things like Sly Cooper HD, Ratchet & Clank HD, Devil May Cry HD, and other things along those lines which are just ports of the original games. I would have preferred it if Atlas just called the game Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne HD and left the remaster out of the title, but here we are. It irritates me a little bit. I know you guys are probably thinking along the lines of, wow, Resident is just a name, but listen, alright? It keeps me up at night thinking about how this game isn't a true remaster, alright? I mean, it doesn't, but it honestly feels like it really does sometimes. The next thing is rather small, and I might be wrong on this one too, however, as far as I'm aware, Atlas didn't change Chiaki's surname back to the original version. Resident. Why is something like this number 2, you might be asking? For a good reason too. I did say it was small, but I just don't like it, and it's as simple as that. So in the localization process for the original Nocturne, Chiaki's surname was changed from Tachibana to Hayasaka. And I honestly don't know why, and I couldn't find a reason why at the time this video was made. I really wanted them to change it back, because I think it's just weird that they changed the surname of a character for an English release, but still keep it a Japanese name. It was kind of just a little bit pointless, and I honestly wanted to see it reverted, but it still remains in its changed state. The worst thing about the HD remaster of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne are the bugs. There have been multiple reported bugs with this game, which honestly makes me really scared coming from the PAL version, which wasn't really the smoothest version of Nocturne. I really just want to be able to play this game without any difficulty, and I also really don't want to be halted midway through a game because something doesn't work. While I do understand that bugs can happen, I just really want my experience to be fluid. I am aware that some of these issues have been fixed before the English version has been released, but it still doesn't stop me worrying about other small issues that have gone unnoticed until I'm just sitting there casually playing my game and bam, the game isn't working the way it's supposed to. Honestly, bugs are the worst part of any game. They're always something that frightens me when I'm playing a game, because if a bug is that bad, I will just refuse to play the game for a very long period of time. So now that we've gone through the negative stuff, let's take a look at the positive stuff. At the bottom of the list, we have the graphical improvements. The game looks better than its original counterpart, with not only it being rendered in high definition, it also possesses minor touch-ups to make everything look just that slight bit better. To me, this is a good thing, but it falls a little bit short on the list, just because everything is practically the same as before. There hasn't been enough change to justify it being higher on the list, so I can sit at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have the difficulty changes. The first part of the change was them adding a merciful mode to the set of difficulties, which is a nice addition to the game. The next addition is the ability to change the difficulty throughout the game. This is huge, because sometimes people bite off more than they can chew, resulting in a negative experience of a great game because of it. Allowing players to change the difficulty of the game at any time stops these blocks, as people can turn down the difficulty to get through the part they were stuck on. The same can also be said about people who are looking for a challenge but weren't quite sure if they had it in them to go for it, and now they can play it safe and change the difficulty when they get an overall feel for the game. All in all, this is a really great mechanic that they included, and I'm happy it's in the game. Coming in at number 3 is the addition of voice acting. I'm aware some people might not like it, but I am really hyped for it. I think it'll bring more life into the world of Nocturne, because I'll be honest, when I played it, the game felt kind of dull. Voice acting is a great addition to any video game because it can really point you in the right direction with how characters feel, using their words. I know you can tell with just reading, but sometimes you just don't read it the same way they would say it. I'm honestly just really excited to hear these characters, and I'm interested to see how they're portrayed. The second best thing about the HD remaster is the ability to choose skills during fusion, and the simplification of the random skill selection. I know this was added in a patch, but it is a new addition to the game which does make demon fusing a lot better. I appreciate how they're trying to put a few little touches on Nocturne to bring it up to speed with where the Shin Megami Tensei franchise is at now. They could have just left it the way it was too, and the game still would have been fine, but this slight change makes everything a little bit easier and more straightforward, which I really like. An honorable mention before we get to the number 1 spot is Raito Kusunoha is finally in the Western version of Nocturne. Raito is my favorite Shin Megami Tensei protagonist, so there is huge bias here. When I found out Nocturne having Raito in it, I was all like, why are we stuck with Dante? Why can't we have Raito? Why Atlas? Why don't we just get him instead? Why do we get the stupid? The meme that came out of it was great and all, don't get me wrong, but I felt left out when my favorite Kusunoha was just absent. It was like there was a hole in my heart that could only be filled by having a character I like looking at, being a video game that I am playing. Luckily, I can fill that hole with the HD remaster. I'm really looking forward to seeing Raito's story in Nocturne, as I don't know what it is, and I really don't want to know what it is, so please don't tell me what it is. I want to keep the experience firsthand, okay? Okay? Alright, we cool? We cool, you guys? We cool? Alright, sick. And the best thing about the Shin Megami Tensei HD remaster is the quick resume feature. This feature allows you to quit the game and then resume the game right where you left off. Isn't that absolutely fantastic? I think it's absolutely fantastic. Now when I need to go do my stupid adult duties, I don't have to leave my console on. I can just click a button, leave, and come back to my game right where I left off. I don't have to wander around aimlessly trying to find a terminal anymore to be able to leave my game. This feature is an absolute blessing and I couldn't be happier with it. Who knew such a small thing would make all the difference? And there we have it. 5 bad and good things about the Nocturne remaster. I know I gave an honorable mention for the good, but come on, I just can't keep my excitement for Raito a secret any. Thanks everybody for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. and subscribe to help support my channel to 1,000 subscribers, because we're almost there. We just hit 900. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I couldn't be more happy at the moment. Also, let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. And with that all said and done, my name is Res Unleashed, the resident who needed to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to record the video because she has adult responsibilities that she has to do during the day. So she needs to unleash the video into the world before she has to leave. And I'll catch you all next time.